Hello everyone. This is now part 2 of my Sunday live sewing marathon. Okay, I've got my water. Remember, when you're doing marathons, you have to stay hydrated. All right, as a reminder, this is what I'm sewing. Over here. I don't think that I have a contrasting and solid color fabric here. I think I need to do one thing, but we've got some fabric to go through. So let's take a look at this. I have the pattern layout on the fabric. And, ooh, whoa. That's awful. Whoa. All right. This is going to be 1 3/4 of a yard on 36-inch material, down to 32-inch material for the waist. Why is that called waist and not like the bodice? And then the skirt and the sash is about 3 yards on 36-inch material, which makes sense because of how long it is. I mean, if you put this on there, it's just gonna go around. So 36-inch material, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 54 inches or not. I'm gonna need about 3 yards that go that direction in order to go all the way around. Okay. And the bust is supposed to be 36 inches, the hip is supposed to be 39 inches, and the finish length from the back of the neck down is about 42 inches. And 42 inches is right here. So this is gonna come right underneath the knee, right at my calf. That's a fantastic length, and the length can be optional because that's called a hem. So, let's figure out what material I'm using here. Because that, I need to speed this up. The first thing to remember is that right now I do not have time to sew another slip. So the slip that I'm having is going to be a brown silk one. So hypothetically, if I layered it with something like this, if the slip showed, this would not be that big of a deal. I know, and this would be a fabulous drapey thing. I mean, and then the skirt with the ooh, like how it would flounce. Boy, I don't know if I'm in camera or not. I'm going to pause right here, drop the material, and think about this. Give me a second. Yes. Good enough. All right. So you have to remember that we have that sash and the drapey thing. That was part 1. That happened an hour ago, I think, about 2 hours ago. And yeah, it's still up. So, and that would go here. This material would drape absolutely fabulous. And because of the striping, you're going to get very neat angles off of that, depending on just where everything goes. I really like that, and I have got plenty of this. Now, the only reason that I'm hesitant on using this is because I do have this much, and this would make for an absolutely fantastic option for like a something that needs a lot more yardage. So let's put this aside, even though that really has my eye. This is only 1 3/4 yards. So in other words, if it does not, this could be like the bodice, but I don't really have anything that, I mean, I could get really, really dramatic and do something like a color contrasting with 2 different colors like that. That would be really stunning. But again, that's a lot of material down here as well. I also need to remember that I have those blue shoes upstairs because shoes are a thing as well. This is 58 inches and 2.5 yards. That doesn't make me feel super comfortable or confident. Now this one is 60 inches with 2 1/6 yards. There is a mild stretch to this. Like, this makes me mildly worried to sew with because of the drape on that and how it could pull. But I don't think it's so much that it would be actually problematic. Now, let's do this. And then there's that would be quite dramatic, but these are two very different types of materials, and with my, from my experience, I do not like sewing two different types of material together, and they rarely hang well. So let's not do that. I would not mind laying this out and then the patterns on top of it and seeing if I can get everything to fit on it. I would not mind that. I don't want to do a contrasting fabric with this one. I would want to do the exact same. I could wear the white cotton slip that I have under that. My biggest concern is right here and the slip showing, which I'm starting to think the way everything, I'm not sure about that. I have a feeling that was a thing, that slips had a tendency to show. Okay, this is not gonna work, but I did wanna show it off. I have a silk or organza, 45 inch width. It is very stiff. I want to use this as a bedroom nighttime lingerie coat thing and make it all frilly and pink and feminine and pretty. So and it's all stiff, so it'll be all dramatic and flouncy, or not flouncy, stiff and drama related. Okay, so I'm gonna put that away. This one I have 4 yards of. I have never had 100% cotton voile, V-O-I-L-E. This is wicked nice. I love it. I mean, it's so soft. I've never felt anything quite like this when it comes to cotton. It feels like silk. I will keep my eye out for voile in the future. This is nice. It says gentle wash. I don't have time to wash this and dry this like I would need to before I sew this. So this also needs to go to the side. This is another pretty one. All right, so we've got silk, 4 yards, dry clean only, so I don't need to pre-wash it. I don't know that this is the. This doesn't. It's not speaking to me. I don't want to sew with this today. Not this pattern, which I'm going to look at one more time. Let's show that off one more time of exactly what material I'm picking out right now. So we're doing that. All right, when it comes down to it, I adore this fabric. I really like this one. And this will go with the shoes that I have down, that I don't have anything else to wear with. And let's check this is a 100% polyester, 3 yards. This might be an absolutely perfect choice for this. because this is far wider than 36 inches. Wait a minute, where did that sticker go? You always put it on the inside like you're supposed to so that this doesn't get too raunchy. There it is. It does not say how wide it is, but I can measure that, and this is huge. All right, that's 36 inches, and then 36 plus 3, 5. This is almost 60 inches. This is like 60 inches. There should be enough, depending on how everything lays, for me to make this, and then I'd be able to wear those really pretty shoes, and I'm very into that idea. I also would be very happy to wear this dress again. I like the inside of this. The way it would drape would be absolutely fabulous. I know that this is going to be see-through, however, which means that that brown slip would absolutely show. I have not had time to make the white slip that I need, or the cream silk, or something. Which then goes back to this lovely material that I am very much into. Now this one won't be a problem. That's not see-through, that's inside, that's the outside. I would also absolutely love to have this in that, okay? And I'm going to toss this over to the side. I'm not feeling it. Okay, so it's coming down to this or this. Now, I'm going to be a smart human. I'm going to let my pattern decide this. If there is one that I just can't get the pattern to go on, that's probably not the one. I'm leaning towards this because I have a feeling that there will be undergarment slip problems with this. So let's see if this works. I need to clear this off, and I need to place this out. Did I know what material I have here? Oh, this is one of my Colorado Fabrics stash purchases. It's 100% rayon. The width is 54 inches, and I have 3 7/8 yards. I'm gonna say that this is totally gonna fit, so I'm gonna do this. So this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take all of this, I'm gonna put it back into my fabric closet, stash awesomeness, my closet of holding, my closet of happiness, closet of fabric. And then I'm going to most likely iron this, get the wrinkles out, lay it flat, and see where all of the patterns need to go. This will likely involve the kitchen table again because my cutting table is just plain small and I can't walk around it. Limitations of being in one's living room for sewing. All right, let me clean up. Leave this one out because if this doesn't fit, I'm going to go with this one because this one would go well with the slip that will go underneath it. That won't be an issue, and it would be absolutely glorious, and I'm really digging it. I think it'd be absolutely fabulous, and I would be able to match this with so many different types of coats or accessories. I feel like this would give me a lot of versatility, so we're going to keep that as my backup. Yes, I know that I've got like 6 yards there and that I could make pretty much anything out of that, but well, maybe I want to make this and then I have more brown silk for something else. I don't know. I'm very excited about, oh, this is going to be a very fun one.
Here,
close up. Isn't that the prettiest? And it's so soft. I mean, it's just so soft. All right. All right, this is what I always do. I'm gonna move the camera, give me a second. Okay, for anyone watching, close your eyes. I'm moving the camera and I know how disorienting and gross that is. All right, this is my sewing table. And I always have clothespins where I put the instructions, if I happen to have any. The actual dress that I'm sewing, as you can see, I'm still working on my 1937 dress, so we're just gonna take that and turn that over. We're gonna do that. Okay. All right, my sewing table is as cleared off as it gets. And it is covered in brown lint from my last sew. So I am now going to back this up, Windex this down real quick, get all of that up. And let's see what I can do to cut things out. All right. Cold? Honey, are you a fever? You have a fever. Drink more water. Keep drinking water and possibly lay down. All the lint is up. I'm gonna move the brown sew to the side. All right. Absolutely ginormous. You know what I should do before I spend the time ironing this? Let's see if this actually fits first. That would be a good idea. I am working with compressed time right now. Okay. And in that case, we're gonna move again. I'm moving the camera. It's gross when people move cameras, so close your eyes. All right, we are now looking at my floor. My linty string-laden floor. Oh, I love this material so much. This is so pretty. I have been just absolutely sitting on this material for so long, and it is so darn pretty. As you can see, got a lot of it, but material can be deceptive. Patterns are deceptive, where we think that we have enough, and of course it's enough to wrap around your body, right? But then you're looking at it going, that is never going to be able to be used for this pattern. It's very distressing. Okay. Now, I don't need this perfect. I just need a very close to likely scenario. Okay, let's get some patterns. Okay, we've got the skirt. Now, I I'm going to use the example of the 54-inch material. Okay. They are actually calling the bodice a waist. W-A-I-S-T. Here, I'll show you. This is interesting. Because the second that you start dealing with vintage sewing, some of the terms change. So take a look at it. That's obviously the bodice back. Well, this is 1920, late 1920, but that's what they're calling it. So this is the one that I'm going to use, and I'm skipping the sleeve and the sash. Looks like that's almost on the fold. And that's salvaged of open single material, right side up. That's 40-inch minnow, 36-inch, 32, and 36. So we are going to go with the 54-inch material because that's most likely what this is. And we're going to try to lay all this out. And if it fits, we'll start cutting this out. And this will be the material. Because, these are my favorite colors. And it's so feminine and pretty. Okay. So I'm going to put this here. And the first thing that they want is a sleeve and a sleeve. Waist front. And a right skirt front. Right skirt front. And then a skirt back, left front, all the way back down to here. Okay, let's get other pieces. Okay, and then there's the waist back. Okay, the waist back goes in here. All the way up. Do that. All right, let's get the front. All right, here's the front. Now that goes this direction. I'm running out of room in my own living room. Okay, let's pull that up here and here. Next. Remember, I don't have to do a seam allowance because it's in there. And yes, I have clean feet. There's a reason why shoes don't go down here for the most part, and I'm in bare feet. All right, so waist front, skirt front, and this is just a whatever. The sleeve technically should go in here. So what I'm going to do, and is actually for this, and say that's fabulous, and then that fits. So I'm going to take and pinch here to here, and I'm going to pull all this all the way down. I'm going to flatten this out. Okay. is the ending. That works. Then waist back goes right here. And then we're going to take the skirt back and left front. So this is the back and the left front. We're going to put that right here. Oh, we totally have this. I have so much, I've got a full yard over there. And that will be enough for the sash. Let's see what direction we want this. The drapery. Oh, look at how well this is fitting. And then I've got a full side thing. Yeah, this is going to be just fine. All right, so this will be the material. Let's I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Skirt back and front. Or I'm just going to start here. Okay, let's do this. I'm now going to pick up everything, and now I'm going to iron it. Which probably means that I shouldn't be putting all the patterns on my ironing board. There. And those are the instructions. Now, let's take out pop off. There we go. I hate it when it's difficult to get things off. All right, this will go right here. Moving the camera off the floor. Oh, say hi to Watson, everyone. He's so good. Okay. All right, synthetics. And water for the okay, there we go. All right. Oh, so sorry. I do not mean to jiggle the camera like that. All right, everyone, here we go. I've got the iron, I have patterns. I think it's gonna fit. We're going to skip the need to serge because we're gonna do French seams. I don't need to add a seam allowance because this entire pattern has a seam allowance. I need to remember bias strips because I am going to, that's how I'm going to do the neck and the sleeves. Okay. this is my opportunity to find any snags, any faults in the material, anything that needs to maybe not be part of things. Please note, the first time you put down the iron until you get that steam going, do not put it on your material. Sooner or later, your iron will rust. It will do something horrible, and you are not going to do it to your material. Oh, this is ironing up really well. There's no snag. I don't feel like this is even close to a melting point, but it is actually ironing out, because there's always the problem of just trying to get something to iron out well, and then it takes too long, or you can't find that magic temperature that the material likes. This color. It's got this pale peachy pink with these roses that are just this, and it dimensionally red with the lighter red and the dark red. This is just so pretty. I am into this. I think this is going to flounce and drape really, really well. I think my shoe options and stocking options are very wide on this. Wow, this is, oh, I'm ironing it the long way. Okay, here, let's do it this time. Ha. When material is so big, you can't tell what direction you're actually ironing it. Oh, that'll fit much better. That's our selvage edge. This doesn't seem to unravel very much. I'm like pushing and pulling on that. That doesn't seem to be causing any problems either. There is something amazing about material when you iron it and then all of a sudden all of the wrinkles are gone. Oh. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of material. Yeah, I'll be able to get a dress out of this. I don't know what color shoes I have that I want for this. I now want white silk stockings or pale pink stockings and like red shoes, and just be overly colorful. I am totally into that. I'll have to make another order from American Touches. I need white stockings, and I also need the pale pink now. Definitely. The white would make a lot of sense for a lot of the things that I'm doing. Plus, I love the idea of being able to roll my stockings and then not actually put on garter belts. Love that idea. Haven't tried that yet, but I'm thinking that might work. But I'm also wondering if that will bother my my knees, and I will let you know what I find out on that. So I started this project this morning when I woke up. When I say starting the project, that was when I was like asking the question, what am I wearing this morning? And realized I really had nothing to wear for tonight that I was super thrilled about. So immediately went over to my pattern stash, had my morning cup of coffee and my breakfast, and it's that point that I'm looking at my patterns going, no, that's too complex. That's underwear, and that's, you know, that's not going to be appropriate for this kind, not this party. And you know, no, you're not wearing your slip and house coat to this. So at that point, I found this one, and I was like, ooh, you're gonna have to print this pattern out. So, and we all know that this might be the second time I've actually shown a sew from an actual printed pattern on this channel, which is, now that I'm thinking about it, that's actually, I am now personally impressed with myself because I know that I've been doing this a full year now. I've got a lot of sewing done. I've done more sewing in the past year than I have ever done before, and that is neat. This has been very encouraging. Having a station where you wake up in the morning and get emails going, you're so beautiful, you're doing so great, don't stop filming, I love this dress, can't wait to see what you're doing next. Let me tell you, that is like the nicest wake up ever. I can genuinely say that I've gotten like 2, you know, comments, like total, so that's pretty nice. The internet is treating me nice. Okay, and this, okay, put that out. There we go, yes. Here. Ooh, that's a big wrinkle. And at that point in time, I pulled out the material that could potentially work for this, which I knew it was gonna have to be at least 3 yards. But I also wanted to make sure that the material was super simple to work with and not going to give me fusses. Like, I don't want something that's going to be, I'm not sewing sequins today, I'm not sewing beads, I'm not sewing something that is large amounts of unraveling, something that I am not sewing velvet today, something that's going to act like Velcro as I put it through the machine and it just moves. So yeah, if you're doing a fast project, you want to make sure that you are working with the material that allows for that. Okay, about halfway, and then I'm going to flip it around and get that other end. And then we will lay this out, and I will start cutting things out. And once everything is cut out, I will go over to the machine and start putting everything together, and we will see what happens. whatever I do, I'm gonna try to leave as much large areas as possible for either a matching hat in the future, which I will not be getting to today. I'm going to be realistic about my skills and time. Again, if this works, I'm going to be genuinely surprised. I do have a backup plan for what I'm wearing tonight, but this seemed like a fantastic day to try to do a live stream as well as show you a blow by blow of what it is that I am doing to get this done. I wanted to also experiment and see if this is more popular than me going through and editing things, and if people just wanted to see a live sew of just how long does it actually take. Because, you know, there's a lot of, and magic happened here, and voila, look at this finished product. There's a lot of that, and you miss a lot of the things that happen in between. Now, there is something to be said for getting to just quite simply see the final product. I mean, the final product is always, ooh. But there is also, you know, the question of, well, how'd you do it? And one of the most common questions that I get from people that, like, I know in real life and they're looking at my clothing, they always ask, how long did it take you to do this? Well, that's the weird part, because I don't entirely know. Like what are you actually asking? Like time at the machine? The 30 minutes I'm spending ironing? How about picking out material, you know, going to the store and actually picking out the material and touching everything? Or spending that 3 hours, you know, online looking at fabric and going, I think this is good. And then buying it and waiting for it to turn up in the mail. And then, oh, don't forget your side party quest where you go off and do something else, which is, by the way, what I'm doing right now, because I absolutely have a 1937 black dress that I'm still sitting on and that I owe a part 2 to, and apparently there's going to be a part 3 because, you know, it's a really complex dress, and I just really need to take a little bit more time. See, that's the thing. I mean, I went from, I guess I'm an advanced sewer at this point, but there's still a lot of things that I don't know, and there's a lot of things that I'm like, I'm not that great at this yet. You know, I'm gonna have to take this a lot slower. But I have noticed that in the past year, I have wildly sped up. Like the idea of doing what I'm doing right now, that would be absolutely insane for me to have said like a year ago. I'm going to assume I should put this up just a touch more. I hope that everyone can hear me and that the volume isn't totally awful. Okay, we're almost done. There's like 2 more feet over here. Oh, I love how this is ironing up. This is not, I think that this is the kind of material that would do really well with like a steam iron. Which is good to remember. So I guess what I'm saying is that I don't know how long it takes me, and some projects go crazy fast. So my 1937 dress, although I haven't spent any time on it today, do I count today because of the time that I started it? Or is it only the sewing time that I actually put into it? But do we count the times that I'm awake at night trying to figure out how to, you know, what order that I'm sewing things? Because remember, I've been typically sewing without instructions just from the Haslam designs, which means that you're going to draft it, you better know what you're doing. So, which involves basically reading, let's say, like one of your sewing books from like this, from like the this is probably 1940s, but this is your instructions for Haslam, and that's a book. I have to read a book to get the directions to do this, which I slightly have. I've picked and chose, I've gone through most of it. I just need to, every once in a while there's a review that I need to do, or that I personally think that it was like, well, that was a really light explanation. Could we have done that just a bit more? I also need to admit that I'm experimenting today on the live thing because I am genuinely concerned about what this is going to look like after June. I am going to be having a hysterectomy, and I do not know if, when, how, this will be in June, but I don't know how I'm going to recover because, wow, we know that people do all sorts of things when it comes to recovery. So I'm trying to give myself as many options as possible to keep this going, because this is one of the favorite things that I have developed over the past year, and I'm not letting this go. And no, so this is a point of joy for me. So this is not an optional concept. And I know that editing can take an awful long, it can take a lot of my time. And I want to make sure that I continue, mostly I'm concerned, the number one concern that I have is actually continuing to sew. However I get that on video, I'll accept that. I will personally accept that. I just want to make sure that I'm sewing. So that is the actual priority. And while I'm sewing, get the camera on. So that may mean that you're getting a lot of live video until, I don't know, or because I'd rather do that than nothing. I also know that my hair is likely to get very funky over this period of time because I have a feeling that doing this is going to aggravate this. And this takes about 45 minutes to just get all the curls in. So my hair may not be vintage for a bit. Now I could hypothetically do a straight haired bob right here with some cute fringe, and that would be very Franny Fisher. I just don't really appreciate the straight hair on me, so I'm gonna try not to do that. All right, let's get the other side of this, and this will go much faster because most of this is already ironed. And this is the inside of the material. I always like looking at that. You can see the color variations that were used to get things done. I can see that there is a blue in this, and so most likely purples and blues will go, this is a purplish red, purple, blue, red. And that's important when thinking about makeup, shoes, like don't go into the greenish pinks, make sure you go into the bluish pinks. Err on the side of a little more blue. Looking good. If I successfully do this tonight, I get to send my friend these live videos of me sewing the dress. Oh, that makes me laugh. You see, I have this personal goal. Oh, I think I ironed this section already. Good. I'll do it one more time over. Because that was where I was started going down the wrong direction. Good, good, good. Just gonna have a couple of little things, but that's it. See, I have this crazy goal of being just, being legendary and just whipping things out and absolutely doing things my own way. But standing on my own 2 feet and not on top of anyone else, I want this to be in my own bubble, my own existence. I don't want to base myself upon anyone else's standards or concepts of me. I very much would like to simply just me. Okay, put this away. I always unplug my iron because I'm paranoid about that beyond belief. So I unplug it. That just needs to be unplugged. Okay, this, is ironed and is beautiful. Okay. Wow, that is a lot of material. Okay, that is a full half. Okay, and we're just gonna drape that there. Okay. Just making sure that I'm still running and haven't run out of battery. All right. Okay. I am now going to whole waist front. Right. Waist front, waist front. This. Just give me a moment. I'm just staring at this to make sure that I've got this right. Whole waist front, whole waist front. I absolutely want this on the kitchen table. Give me a moment to move things up. This is too big of a material. These pieces are huge and I want to be able to move around the table. So give me a moment. Plus, I drink like an entire thing of water, so nature is cold. All right, first of all, up the stairs. All right, and I'm going to give you pretty succulents to look at while I deal with nature, and I will be right back. All right, people, here we go. Moving the camera. And I'm gonna back this one up all the way. And I'm gonna move the chairs. Let's see what I can do. Okay, let's get a cutting mat. This direction, all the way down. And they said, right side up. Huge material, huge, huge, huge. This is a crazy span. All right, I'm lining up the selvage edge right here. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Go. Here we go. See, what you're watching right now is usually the footage that I end up cutting or montaging or speeding up. But this time, you'll get to see exactly how much time everything takes. Don't do that. This per the view A of 54-inch material, and we are taking the waist. Why do I feel so confused right now? Because we're on the, we are not starting here, we're starting. We're going to to start with the skirt back, left front, and the sash. I honestly think that this is the part that takes the most time. All right, I don't need a seam allowance. This comes off my cutting mat here and over here. Skirt back and left front, skirt back and left front, okay. I'm gonna get this off of the edge just a little bit. Let's do it. Now, I know from experience that as much as I want to reposition this back onto the mat so that I can continue to use the rotary, I do not have very good success rates with this. So I'm going to cut what I can. Move. If it moves, check here, 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 and here. All of the points that you can. Let's get that out of here. Notice that I'm holding this and I'm not letting it drag down to the floor. Okay. 1, lifting this all up. I'm going downstairs and I'm putting it on the ironing board. The next thing on the pattern is the sash. Oh, if this fits here. Yes. Okay. Now, obviously I want to turn the mat. I don't want to turn the material. The material is a lot harder to turn than the mat. Right there. And pull. And up. A little bit more over. Alright, and that is 100% on the mat, but it's really close. Fabulous. We have a sash. Oh, wow, this is gonna be drama. I love it. Okay, put this downstairs. Okay, we have the skirt back and the sash. That's the sash, that's the skirt back. Now we need to start doing those two. Now, what was the thing that I wanted? The waist back. That's the front. This is the back. And it wants to go this direction. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit. That just doesn't feel like I'm gonna get that right, and I need to flatten this out. I taped one end under and over. That's not gonna work. Okay. There we go. I like that. That's pretty. Remember, when you have a pattern, take a look at it, because otherwise you're going to end up with some very funky things. Okay, let's cut this out. Remember, seam line. We're good. Just cut it out. Don't let the material fall and pull. All you gotta do is one armpit and it's glorious. Yes. Okay. Oh. There. All right, this is the back. Let's put that downstairs. I think the next thing was the sash, waist back, drapery. I'm sorry, the drapery, because apparently I need drapery now. Okay. Goes up. Yes, and that goes right in here. We're going to cut that piece off so it doesn't drag and pull. looks good. Let's see if this fits. All right, let's do this. And all of this is on the cutting board. Not that my table is in good enough condition to really worry about whether or not I've gouged it yet again, or put boiling hot wool on it, which I have done. I think I've done more damage to this table than my kids, which is impressive because historically speaking, my kids have been very much given liberal access to a lot of art supplies from a very early age. It's the front edge. Okay. For a second there I said on fold, and then I was about to freak out. I'm like, how? How could that be on the fold? Okay, there. Okay, that is done. Okay, there's not much left. All right. Right skirt front and waist front, which is the bodice front, but we're in the 1920s, so it's going to be a waist. So let's lay this out. Plenty. Look at this. Plenty of material. Don't bang the dusty. So look at that. Okay, so to conserve as much material as possible, let's push this down and pull this over, move all this so I can find it again. Okay. All right, that's laying flat. Let's get that off the bias for that. And that ends right here. Okay. So this comes completely off the table. trying to figure out which way to cut this out so that the material doesn't pull everything off the table. And which side will be the easiest to do with scissors and not the rotary cutter, because this is, again, bigger than my mat. Okay, so this is where I'm going to cut this out according to this, but I'm going to keep this. Alright, I'm holding this before it pulls it off. Yeah. And I'm doing that. I'm just gonna do that. Almost there. I think I need to change my rotary cutter blade. All right, there's this. Okay, last piece, but I'm keeping this. I absolutely have room for sleeves. I absolutely have room for a hat. I could even probably do some sort of scarf thingy. I mean, I've got options here. This is wonderful. weirdly wrinkled right there. Ooh, this gets wrinkled really fast. Okay, good to know. Skirt. Here's the grain line. Does it fit? Does it fit? Does it fit? Oh, wow. Okay, I need to be super careful with this cutout. Okay, that totally works. And of course, my cutting mat is totally the wrong direction, so let's just mess all of that up. I think this is going to work. Looking at the grain line here because I'm looking at that line, not that line. That line doesn't need to line up with something. This is the line, and that's the grain right there, which makes this weirdly fit, although I do need, pull that down. Nope, too far. Ooh, that's not going to fit no matter what. Okay, then in that case, I'm going to choose to be able to rotary cutter that side. Try that again. Get that. One shot to get this on the material correctly, or I have to start cutting into some really large pieces that I don't want to. I want to conserve this as much as I can. Okay. Grain line. Not worrying about that. Worrying about the grain line. Again. I'm going to keep scooting up until I see that corner and that corner actually fit the material. And again, I do not need to provide seam allowance because that's not a thing here. It's already in the pattern. And stop there before I cut the table. Some red shoes. Red shoes with this. Okay. This is the material that I have left. If I screw something up, I am actually capable of redoing it. However, it would not work well for tomorrow. And if you saw what I just did to my material, that is why all my material always needs ironing. Oh, whatever. Okay. I am now, I don't know. Give me a second. Let me think. Okay, I'm going to check on a few things in my house, and then I'm going to do part 3 where I start sewing this. So I will be back, but again, this is a marathon, so you need to have potty breaks and you need water. And you need to check things on the house and make sure that you haven't forgotten anything. Okay, I'll be back.